Hi, I'm John Brennan, Director of Appraisal Issues with the Appraisal Foundation. In this segment, we're going to talk about the role of the state appraiser regulators in the appraiser regulatory system. With me, I have Don Rogers, President of the Association of Appraiser Regulatory Officials. Don, could you give us a brief history of the appraiser regulation in the United States?
Well, John, prior to the financial institution crisis of the 1980s, only 2 of the 50 states regulated appraisers. As a result of FIREA, the 55 states and U.S. territories have all established appraiser agencies. These boards and programs are responsible for issuing appraisal credentials and overseeing the disciplinary process for real property appraisers.
What is the makeup of the appraiser regulatory agencies in the states?
Well, most boards or commissions are made up of 5 to 9 board members. Members are generally appointed by the governor and or the state legislature. Boards usually consist of appraiser members, banking or AMC members, and public members.
Can you describe some of the ways that the state appraiser regulatory agencies differ?
Sure. Some states have mandatory licensing for all real property appraisers, while others require licensing for federally related transactions only. In some states, the board or commission serves as the hearing officer for disciplinary cases, while in other states, these are decided by administrative law judges. Some states have staff investigators, others have contract investigators. In some states, staff has to be shared with other occupational licensing boards or are part of a large umbrella agency for the entire state.
Don, what are a state appraiser regulatory agency's responsibilities?
Well, there are primarily 2 responsibilities. They have to validate qualifications and issue credentials, licenses, and certifications. And they have to investigate complaints against their licensees and take the necessary disciplinary action. States must ensure that real property appraisers licensed or certified to do federally related transactions meet the criteria as established by the Appraiser Qualifications Board, and that these appraisals are done in compliance with the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, otherwise known as USPAP.
How does a state evaluate an applicant's qualifications?
Well, states must verify that the applicant's qualifying education meets the AQB criteria. They must document and validate that an appraiser has met the experience requirements for certification, and they must also ensure that certified appraisers have met their continuing education requirements, which includes the 7-hour USPAP update.
How does a state resolve complaints?
Well, states must have an effective, consistent, and timely enforcement process. Substantially similar cases should result in a similar disposition. Absent special documented circumstances, states are required to resolve complaints in a 1-year time frame.
What are some of the possible outcomes?
Well, an appraisal licensing board can impose additional education against an appraiser. They can reprimand or fine the appraiser. And in severe circumstances, they could either suspend or revoke the appraiser's certification altogether.
What are some of the concerns for state appraiser regulatory agencies?
Well, appraisers must be given due process before action can be taken against their credentials, and this can result in delays in processing complaints.
How do states coordinate to regulate appraisers?
Many states participate in ARRO, the Association of Appraiser Regulatory Officials. ARRO holds conferences twice a year where appraiser regulators receive information from federal agencies, appraisal organizations, and users of appraisal services on topics of interest. These conferences help regulators to network with each other and other jurisdictions, and this creates better consistency across the programs.
Well, that's great, Don. That's been some very helpful information, and thank you very much.